I do want to ask you guys this: sticking in the Big 12, Texas Tech went on the road and knocked off West Virginia today, and that's not really anything all that impressive. West Virginia has now lost 7 straight games. This is not Deshaun Butler's West Virginia Mountaineer squad, but Texas Tech is now sitting tied with Baylor at 7-3 in second place in the Big 12. They are number 11 on KenPom. They're way up there in the rankings on the net. They have won 5 of their last 6 and 3 in a row. T.O., does this team have a chance to win the Big 12 title, and can they win the Big 12 tournament? And where do you rank them in terms of like the best teams in this conference?
I think they absolutely can, because defensively, that travels, and it's going to be there every night. And not only does the defense travel, their entire fan base travels. And if they're as raucous as they were at their home court, and I didn't get a chance to go with you down there, Jeff, but gosh, what an advantage that is. Look, and it seems to be a different guy every night offensively. And that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Now, Terrence Shannon, whenever he gets back in the groove, he's going to be your go-to. But like this team, O'Banner, I love that kid. I thought he's efficient. He could shoot it. His game is it looks a little funky. It looks a little bit like YMCA, where it's a little bit of a set shot and it kind of takes a second to get off. But man, defensively, you're going to give yourself a chance every night. Mark Adams has got a nice combination of players, big, strong dudes. And whenever you have big, strong, physical dudes, I think that wins in tournament settings, because you got to let the games keep going. You can't call too many fouls. So you have to be big and strong to where not overwhelming people, but at least hold your own to where you can run your stuff. I think Texas Tech, maybe not the regular season, because I think Kansas is going to have a strong hold on that, the way they're playing tonight. But I think it's possible whenever you get to the tournament that they could make a run and win the Big 12 tournament.
It's their culture, guys. Their culture is so strong, and they have those holdovers. I mean, Shannon hasn't even played much. I mean, he hasn't. I couldn't believe Mark Adams put him in with like 5 minutes left in the game against Texas. You know, like I still need to talk to Mark Adams about why he did that. But ultimately, here's the deal. Kevin McCullough, to me, is the guy that makes that team go completely. He is just a winning player. He does everything you need him to do, whether it's handle the ball, whether it's make plays, passes, whatever you need him to do, he does. Marco Santos Silva, super tough, just brings that energy. And then you bring in all these transfers, and honestly, they weren't the highest touted guys, but Bryson Williams has been terrific. Adonis Arms has been great. As you mentioned, O'Banner, he got 2 great bounces on threes in that game, but ultimately he's been good enough and given them what they needed. It's just a group. And talking to Terrence Shannon, the one thing he said was like, we really don't care who scores 15 or 20. At the end of the day, we understand that winning.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah,
is it's
culture.
They're all bought in.
Yes.
And the thing that we expected when Chris Beard left Texas Tech, right? What we expected was that culture to travel with him from Texas Tech to Texas, and it has not. It stayed right there in Lubbock. And I've made this point 100 times, and T.O.'s heard me say this 100 times, but it's the fact that you have this blue collar group of dudes that wants to go out there and play this kind of, let's just call it what it is. It's an ugly brand of basketball built on toughness and built on defense. And it works. And that city has bought into it, and that community has bought into it, and they back them and they show up. I mean, Jeff, you can speak to how rowdy that building was, right?
I'm telling you. People think I'm crazy, and Gottlieb went against it, but Gottlieb was sitting all the way up at the ceiling. Okay. So whatever Gottlieb said, don't even believe. Like, I was down low. I was sitting 2 seats over from Ric Flair, by the way. So me and Rick were hanging out a little bit.
Hey, give me Ric Flair, T.O.
Woo! Hey, look, I met Ric Flair when I was in the G League, and they gave him a microphone before the game, and he starts talking about pheasant hunting in the warm-ups. He starts talking about pheasant hunting in Iowa during warm-ups. We're like, hey, man, somebody forgot to give Rick his pills. So,
that atmosphere, going on. I'm telling you, that atmosphere, they didn't need Ric Flair. I mean, that building, again, to have Chris Beard walk out there surrounded by 5 cops and the guy he hired for his bodyguard of sorts, it was insane. And just the buildup, like, you had dudes, former players, shotgunning beers in front of thousands of students right before the game. You had food trucks lined up on the lawn right outside the arena. This shit doesn't happen anywhere else. Not Duke, not Kentucky. Nowhere else do you see that. Now, they're hungry fans, That's the difference from them and
and I will say
Kentucky.
This. Part of it is because of that specific matchup and Chris Beard coming there. But if you look
at
what Texas
Tech, it was there 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I went there when they played Kentucky.
Yeah, I know. What I was going to say is if you look at what they've done at home this season, they have not lost in that building this year with wins over Kansas. And no, they won at Baylor. So they haven't gotten there yet, but they've protected that home court. They don't lose there. And the best way to compete in a league like the Big 12 is to make your home court a fortress